Today I will talk about modularity and how we can use ABP Studio to help you to create your modular solutions. First, I will start with why you may need to create a modular solution and introduce the ABP platform in overall. Then uh, I will introduce some design points you should consider while creating a modular solution in dotnet. And finally, I will demonstrate creating modules and installing this to an application, make it running in ABP Studio. Let's start from the first question, why we may need to create a modular software. Uh, for me, actually, there are three main reasons, and the first one is the most important one, is to reduce and manage code complexity, of course, because if many developers, not only developers, many teams, different teams working on the same solution, and if the solution is just a monolith application without a well-designed and well separation of business domains, it will be very hard to develop, manage this, and also it will be very hard to work in parallel by different teams. So it's a technique to split your domain into subdomains, and different developers or teams focus on different parts of your solution and can develop it in parallel. The second reason can be if you are deploying your solution to your customers' on-premise environments, you may want to deploy your application as modular. You just deploy what modules they have purchased, and even you can consider to create a plugin-based modular system. So this can be a second reason. And the final reason may be you want to create actually a microservices system, but you want to start from a monolith as suggested by many technology leaders. And you may want to create a modular system first, then migrate to microservices later. So if any of these conditions met with your case, then you can create a modular software solution instead of a just monolith application. And when you create your modules, like for example, in an e-commerce application, you may have catalog module, ordering, reviews, shipping, and many more modules like payment and so on. Typically, each team is focused on one or more modules in your solution. However, these teams are focused on this functionality in this, for example, catalog module, and they don't want to repeat everything again and again in every project, like infrastructure requirements, I mean. For example, you may want to have a standard coding style across all the modules, and you may want to create some base classes or utility functions. So these objects in these modules can inherit from these repositories, entities, services, and to be a standard structure in their code bases. Also, you may want to automate some cross-cutting concerns, like, for example, you don't want to repeat in every use case for database transaction management, exception handling, like some kind of permission checking, validation, and so on. Also, these modules should be focused on their own functionality. But there are many application requirements in business applications, like enterprise applications. For example, background job management, audit logging, like accessing to blob store, blob objects, like distributed locking, maybe setting permission management, event pass, definitely. So this kind of building blocks also should be located in some kind of infrastructure layer. And finally, you will depend on many third-party libraries or services from all of your modules. So it's best to depend on all these libraries in an infrastructure layer. So you depend on the same version of the libraries, so you don't have any problem on runtime. And also you implement some kind of useful abstractions for these libraries. So in the module code, you will write less code, and which will be more efficient for developing, testing, and so on. So in a large team, if you are building a serious enterprise modular application, you typically have an infrastructure team in your company. So they are focused on this kind of stuff. instead of creating real business functionality. ABP framework. Actually, we have created the ABP framework from the beginning to support modular development, modular application development. It's it's provides almost everything. Like it's starting from a solution template. You can just create a modular monolith application, install some pre-built modules. It provides many integration to common libraries, automates most of the cross-cutting concerns, as I mentioned before. It provides enterprise application building blocks, and even it provides some tooling to visualize and automatize modular development. So the purpose of this project is like it sits between plain ASP.NET Core and enterprise application development requirements. So if you use this kind of framework or this kind of platform, you less care about the infrastructure and you can more focus on your actual business value. I will demonstrate for ABP Studio part, but now I want to show some design points you should care about while creating a modular.NET solution. Let's see some basics. I can start from defining how to create a package structure, like for a module. A module is implements some subdomain in your solution, and we can just create two fundamental packages or projects in .NET solution. The first project can just implement the entities, repositories, services. That means actual implementation of your module. And the second package can be the interface of your module that will be consumed by other modules. It can be consisted of service interfaces, some data transfer objects, some kind of event definition for event-based communication, and some other objects that you want to share with your clients. Optionally, you may have UI layer also, a UI project in your solution. Just 1 minute. Okay, and you may have optionally a test project which is recommended for testing this functionality of this package of this module. Once you have two packages, for example, in different modules can communicate with each other through contracts. Like, for example, if an ordering module wants to check stock count from the catalog module, it can just have a reference to the contracts package. So in this way, it can just use the services without accessing their implementation details. Also, when you want to subscribe to an event from catalog module to ordering module, for example, you can just add a reference to the contracts package and subscribe these events. So in this way, you can just reuse the event classes without any duplication. Okay, when it comes to communication, there are two common patterns. The first pattern is like API calls. For example, we placed an order from the UI to the ordering module. It can just make a query to the catalog module, as I explained before. So the catalog module can check the database, return the response, and so on. This is just request response style communication. The second communication type can be integration events, which is also a very important communication style in a modular or even microservice systems. When we place an ordering module can do its own job, create the module, create the order, whatever it needs. Then can publish an event like order placed. Then the catalog module can subscribe to this event. Any other modules also can subscribe the events because one publisher and multiple subscriber can be possible. So catalog module can decrease stock count or do whatever it needs. So it's easy to understand this kind of patterns, but it's important also to understand when use which approach. So integration services or direct API calls, is best for read or query operations, and it's not suggested for manipulating data of other module. If you need that, you just use integration events. So in this way, we can implement side effects. I mean, a change in a module that needs to make another change in another module, like it triggers change in another module. In this case, events are better approach than API calls. Okay, we have many modules like that, which have two or more packaged internally. So we typically have a host application that adds reference to all modules implementations, brings them together, and makes them just running as a monolith application. This is why it is defined as monolith modular. It's in development time, it's modular, but it's in runtime, it's monolith. Okay. For the UI layer, as the last suggestion, I can say that it's typical to have actually module solutions have their own UI package. In this package, they can just define some page or just some components. And in a unification layer, we can bring all them together and just make it look like a single application to the end user. So, for example, in this page of Amazon that sells the Master ABP framework book, it has many subcomponents coming from different modules. Like catalog module may define the title and description. User review module can render such a rating component. Stock module, search module, delivery, I don't know, account module, basket module. Each module can define its own components, and the unification layer just design its layout and brings all these components together as a unique experience. Okay, now after the basics of this modular design, I want to demonstrate like building a new application and adding modules to this application to create a modular system with the ABP Studio and the ABP framework. ABP Studio is a desktop application for ABP and .NET developers. It actually provides many functionalities, not only for modular application development, but one of the most important feature is that. So here we can just create a new solution. When we do that, we see just 1 minute. Okay, we see many uh, different application startup templates. So I will start with the application single layer template, which is just a simple single layer application. I'm starting with that because the host application don't need to be layered. It can be just simple application because it doesn't include any actual business code. It just brings all these other modules together. When we do that, I can give a name like modular app, create in a folder. It provides multiple UI options. Like I will continue with MVC, Razor Paste, but it also provides Blazor, Angular, and so on. It provides a UI theme, provides multiple options for database integration. For example, I can go with MongoDB or Entity Framework Core. When I select Entity Framework Core, I can just select any kind of database management system supported by the Entity Framework Core. And finally, I will also add some sample CRUD page. So I can take it as a reference to my future development. You can just deselect it for a clean project, but I will select it to show you how it works. So after this kind of options, it creates a fully production ready, well designed, and base modular. Like actually, it's a modular solution. I will show you. Now it's creating the solution, even creating the database for us. So it does everything and makes the application ready for us. Let's see the solution explorer of ABP Studio. You see we have created a modular application. It has some imports. Imports here are just modules. Like it imports account module for login, register, and this kind of operations. identity module for user management, role management, and so on. For example, it comes with OpenID integration for making your application as an authentication server, and so on. So when we run the application, these modules becomes a part of your solution. However, their source code are not included in your solution. They are just coming from NuGet packets. Okay, it seems ready. ABP Studio provides a way to start run applications inside the ABP Studio without needing an external tool. It even provides an built-in browser for us. So again, we don't need to have an external browser. Okay, you see the account modules login page here. There are many functionalities like register, forget password, two-factor authentication, social logins, even Active Directory integration, and many more options are available. So I can just log in with admin user. You see there are some menus we can see now. So like tenant management, this is for multi-tenant application development. We can create tenants and so on. Each tenant has its own users, roles, permissions, data, and so on. Identity management modules comes with role management, user management. For example, I can create a new role easily and arrange its permissions using, let me, yeah. Each module has its own permissions, and this permission management module provides the user interface. So you can grant permissions or you can deselect some permissions, grant or prohibit some permissions for this kind of roles. Then you can just create a new user, for example. Then assign roles. That's all. Then John can easily log in with its own password and so on. There are static management module and so on. Also, we have created a sample CRUD application. Remember that while creating the application. So it adds a book management page. We can create books, edit or delete books easily. You can just see it as source code because it's included in your solution. Let's open the solution actually. ABP Studio is not development tool. You will still use your favorite IDE like Writer, Visual Studio Code, whatever you want. I'm opening the solution with Visual Studio. You see a structured solution. It's not like a complete empty solution. It has some DB context like entities. For example, book entity is defined like that. And in the services, you can see book application services, which provides the CRUD functionality for us. Actually, it's just empty class because it is derived from the CRUD opt service base class of ABP framework. When you inherit this from this class, it brings all the necessary CRUD functionality with validation, permission management, and with all necessary features. So you can just inherit from it or just create your own project. Also, in ABP Studio, we can run the application and also we can see all the HTTP requests here, their headers, response and request details easily. Yeah, edit model and so on. We can even see, for example, when we update a user, it automatically publishes like user updated event. You can see event details here. So you can trace HTTP requests and events, which is especially important for distributed applications because you can also see inter microservice communication and so on. But today's topic is modularity. When any exception occur, you can real-time catch exceptions here. Let's make an exception, for example, from the role management page. I will create a row which is already created before. You see in the exception funnel, this comes here. The exception type is, identity result exception. It shows us the stack trace and so on. If the stack trace is not enough, we can just look at the logs as real time. It looks like Aspire's dashboard actually. They sometimes compare with them, but this is different actually. The purpose is also different, but some common features. Okay. Now cancel it and stop the application. Now I will create a new module inside this application. To do that, okay, here, I will first create a new folder, a main folder, and we'll move this main application to the main folder to better organize my code base. And the modules folder. Under this modules folder, I can create new module or an existing module from, if you have created a reusable module, you can just add it to this application. But I will create a new module. You have three options. The first option is just empty. You can create a new empty module and add packets yourself. DDD modules means the module is layered based on DDD principles like, domain layer, application layer, presentation layer, infrastructure layer, and some other kind of packets also. I will go to with standard module. Here I give a name like catalog module, for example. I can select user interface package. I will go with MVC and entity framework for core for this module. I want to include also unit test project. So it just created the module for us. I can open it in Visual Studio. To see the solution in Visual Studio. You see there are 4 packages. The catalog module has implementation of your module. Contracts package have interfaces of your services, test project, and the UI project. It comes with sample page, like for catalog page, for example, we have a catalog page here. I can change the code, for example. You see catalog page here, and so on. I can just build the application, build the module because we first time created it, hasn't built yet. Okay, it has been built. Now, this module is independent from the main application. It's just a reusable module. I can install this module to the main application. Right clicking to import here or just here, doesn't matter. Import module. I can import module from 3 sources, like a catalog module. I can import from this solution or from NuGet packets. I'm selecting the catalog module from here and installing this module to the solution, to the main application. That's okay, actually. It's just install it. Now I can build and start the main application. Refreshing the page, now I see the catalog pages here. Just I can make any development in the catalog module and it will be a part of the main monolith application. Finally, I want to also show there are some pre-built modules on NuGet for ABP solutions. I can import module, select the NuGet tab, and just select a pre-built module. For example, a blogging module is available for your applications. I can just install this module, just like we have installed the catalog module. So it's not included in our solution. It's a NuGet package, but we can just install it. It takes a few seconds. Okay, I think the operation has been completed. When we check the main application, we can see that it also added some database migration for the entity framework code. So it's ready to run, but the only problem is now it hasn't created the database tables for us. In ABP Studio, we can just right-click a project and use entity framework core CLI commands easily. Like I can use the update database command. It understands that this package has entity framework core reference, so it makes this kind of commands available for this project. I rerun the application. Now I think I need to build and start the application because I changed project references. Now it started refreshing the page. Now I cannot see any blogging page here because it also has some permission system, you know. I need to go to admin row, and there is a new blog tab has been added here in the permission management dialog. I will select all the permissions for like blog management, post management, tag, and comments. So I will refresh the page. Now I can see blogging module comes here as a new page. So you see we can create a new blog, for example, .NET blog. That's all. There are also pages for creating posts, managing comments, and so on, but I will not show because of the time restriction. So in this way, you can just create new modules in your solution or in your, for example, a shared repository. You can create reusable modules, or even you can publish your modules to NuGet, and other developers can easily install these modules. The modularity in the ABP framework has been designed from ground to, like from database layer to presentation layer. In every aspect, it's designed. Like, for example, this menu is modular, and any module can contribute new items or manipulate existing items on runtime, and so on. Okay, final minutes. In this presentation, I just showed how to create modules and install to an application, make it all running. However, if you wonder how to build functionality in these modules, you can just check, scan this QR code and check the modular monolith application development tutorial we have created on the ABP IO documentation. So if you cannot scan that, just go to ABP IO website, go to documentation, and you can easily find it under the tutorials. It's all from me. Thank you very much.